Good evening, everybody. I've got a question from Ray, who recently purchased a Tour Striker. Thank you very much, Ray. His question is, I just received my Tour Striker, and his goal is to really improve this season. He took his Tour Striker out for the first time, and it took him a little while before he could hit some solid shots. He never realized what a picker he was up until now, and he worked his way to an 11 index. He's purchased the PBS, which is the Pure Ball Striker, a very effective training tool. And he also has, I picked up Bobby Clevett's book, The Impact Zone, which I think is a great read and will really help a lot of you out there. His question, other than the 9-to-3 drill, what other drills can I use to improve my impact angles other than just to hit a bunch of shots with a Tour Striker? It's kind of discouraging after 5 or 6 bad Tour Striker shots in a row. He says, when I hit pitch and wedge shots, I have no problem taking a divot after the ball and having crisp contact. So, very good question there, Ray. So first off, the 9-to-3 drill is very effective. Just to kind of get an idea of impact, the difference between address hand location and impact hand location. So when you're doing that, obviously you're going to let that motion be powered with your pivot, and really feel your pivot move your arms into the impact location. So, 9-to-3 drill is not bad. For you to understand how to take that to the full shots, that really, after all, that's the missing link, and that's why I developed the Tour Striker, because I could teach people how to chip and pitch easily. That wasn't hard. I guess my weakness and challenge as a teacher was bridging that gap between the chip and pitch shots to the full swings, because let's face it, a whole lot more can go on there. I think it's really, really important to understand a couple of concepts in golf, and the Tour Striker can certainly help you with that. A golf swing really goes from a wide condition in the backswing to a much narrower condition in the downswing. See, in the backswing, the wrists haven't fully set yet, as you know. Okay? So the club and left wrist angle hasn't fully set. In the downswing, instead of, if I move this chair closer to me, for example, in my backswing I might tap the chair on my way back. On my downswing, I would miss the chair by a great deal on the way down. So it's interesting to understand the shape of the swing. If you can imagine a nice wide circle going back and then a very descending steep angle coming down. Now, it can get too steep for some good players, but the reality is for most of you out in the golf world, you need to understand the width of a backswing and the narrowness of a downswing, and how a backswing has a nice wide angle coming back and a downswing has a nice narrow angle coming into impact, and how to carry those angles. See, if you're not hitting crisp shots, there's a couple of reasons. One, you could be landing too far ahead of the golf ball, which will give you a bad result with a Tour Striker. That's probably not Ray's case. Some good players can have their low point too far ahead, but Ray, that's probably not your condition. Your condition is probably a little bit of adding speed earlier, losing your structure in your downswing, getting a tiny bit of a cast, and losing a bit of your rhythm and a little bit of the natural throw-it action that Mother Nature wants you to have. So what I want you to do is continue to work on those short pitch shots, the 9-to-3, use your pivot to do that, and just slowly build from that. There's no real shortcuts to getting better, especially having confidence to hit great long shots. And I know one of your things in your note was to me, do I just have to hit a bunch of shots? Yeah, you do. You have to hit a bunch of shots, but it'll help you if you understand what you're trying to do. I'll wrap this up by just taking the Tour Striker a little bit farther. Now, obviously, if you look at that elevated leading edge, there's quite a bit from that leading edge to the bottom of the sole. In your mind, Ray, I want you to feel as though you can take that leading edge from the address condition and you're going to get it as close to the ground as possible. Now, this is a very exaggerated position that you won't be able to do, but I want you to feel like you're doing it. So there's the address condition with the club, there's that little more than a half an inch there between the bottom of the sole and that leading edge. And wait till the Tour Striker Pro comes out, people out there, because it's a whole lot harder than this, but it's great for your really good players and your professionals to practice with. So from the address condition, you're going to feel like you can take that leading edge and scrape it along the ground, all the while powering that move with your pivot. Okay, and what you're going to find when you do that is you're not going to want to scrape along the ground by casting the club this way. You're going to have a little bit more steep, a little bit more direct motion down to impact. Now when you do that, obviously you don't want to lag the hosel into the ball like this. you want to let this forearm rotate a little bit so you get that sweet spot on the golf ball. Okay? So we're not going to lag that hosel into the ball. We're going to feel like we're going to take that leading edge of the tour striker and scrape it on the ground, all the while having a little bit of that forearm rotation so we can square that club face. Okay? So this will all happen kind of naturally, but you have to learn the concepts and understand it. So Ray, thank you for your question. Good luck out there. And for those of you that purchased the tour striker, thank you very much. And don't be shy. If you have a question or you're having a problem out there, shoot me an email and I'll happily try to do a video post for you. Have a great night.